colonial legislature departed from what we know as the English common law rule that basically would declare that an individual's status derived from his or her paternal line. So that means how you would identify yourself as whether free or enslaved, whether Black, white, indigenous, would descend from how your father or his ancestors, paternal ancestors, identified themselves. But in 1806, in the context, again, of racial slavery, the Virginia legislature decides to make a significant change. They departed from this paternal line rule and adopted what is known as partus sequitur ventrum. And basically what that means is that your status would come from how your mother was defined. The status of your mother would mark your status. Just really quickly, this is the teacher in me. Why do you think that the Virginia legislature, and if we think about who probably were Virginia legislators at that time, all men, those who identified as white men, again in the context of racial slavery, why would you think that they would say that now a child's status would be defined by the status of the mother? Okay, I see Maria Nix Miller.
I could assume because of the rape and different things that was happening with the women. And so you have a lot of these children that you don't want to give them the title of being white because their fathers are white.
Right. So not only do you not want to define them as white, but if you were to define them as white, more likely, what would they also be? Not white and what?
Free.
Free. Absolutely. And so that then kind of changes, would take, in terms of all these multiracial children, that would mean that many of them would likely be considered free. And that's going to completely upset this social and legal political system, right? Again, one that was also trying to preserve ideas about white racial purity and biological purity too. And so also to that point, then that means that you would have to have those individuals who are defined by their mother status, i.e. those who are enslaved, Black women, then that also means that all of those children are going to be the property, right? Can be defined as the property of those white men or free white men as well, or at least subject to enslavement. And so that also increases what? If you have more property in people, that increases your political, your economic, your social, your legal status in this country.